I'm gonna see if I can get this webcam working. Hi everyone. Hello, hello. For some reason my webcam doesn't want to work with this. Nonetheless, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get the webcam working sooner or later. All right, let's get into this. We're working on this fun little hamster today. And I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get the body of the hamster done. And then I'll try to fix my webcam and we'll come back for part 2 to do all of the materials and fine tune all the details, things like that. I've already done a practice test stream of this little hamster. The inspo behind this hamster is actually, I used to have a hamster when I was little and her name was Sarah and I loved her so much. I used to save up to buy hamsters. Like, they were $8 at the pet store and I would like save up. I would save up my $8 so that I could get a hamster and they would eventually die and then I would get another one. So one of my favorite hamsters was Sarah. So I was like, how cute. How cute of a little project would it be to just do a hamster and then just like animate her. I think that'd be really fun. So basically what I just did, if you've never used this software, this is Blender. And what I just did was created an object that I'm going to shape into the body of this hamster here. So I just added a cube and I subdivided it to kind of give it a lot more faces. And it's going to give it a round shape as well. And I'm going to go into edit mode. If I press tab down here, you'll see all the keys that I'm pressing. So I'm going to tab into edit mode and then I'm just basically going to kind of play around with the shape of this sphere here. So I'm going into x-ray mode because I basically just want to see what the hamster looks like underneath. So that's why it kind of looks invisible. So now I'm just going to kind of manipulate it and move it around so that it is the shape of the body. I'm going to widen this out a little bit. So I wanted to do this stream because I live in Los Angeles and as you may know, we just came out of a really scary situation where the fires are basically just destroying a huge portion of Los Angeles, specifically like the Pasadena area, Altadena, the Palisades. So just a very tough time for a lot of families here in Los Angeles. I live in South Los Angeles, so although we were on high alert, we were not evacuated. We did not have to leave our home. I did have some friends that evacuated to me from the Glendale area because of the smoke and the fires, and of course that is just like terrifying. So to know that so many people so close to home lost literally everything, it breaks my heart. So I just wanted to do my part as far as educating, creating a space that we can create, donate, and just do whatever we can do to support the community that, for me personally, welcomed me with open arms. I've been living in Los Angeles for about 8 years now, In April, it will be 9 years. And it has just been such an incredible place to live and a wonderful place to be a part of. So to know that there are so many people within this community that are hurting, it just breaks my heart. So I was like, how can I give back? What can I do to support the community? And I'm always going to stick to what I know, and that's my art and my creativity. So my hope is just to create a safe space for creators to come and hang out. I hope to do these sorts of charity streams for different organizations at least once a month. To kind of give back. So going back into this, I feel like, okay, so I'm basically just going to scale it on the y-axis because hamsters are not that big. So we're just going to scale it. This is basically the body, I think. And again, we're just blocking out at the moment, so don't trip, okay? All right, so that's our body. We're just gonna do one for the head as well. Let's do the head. And so basically what I did was I added another cube, and I'm gonna tab into edit mode, and I'm just gonna add a subdivision modifier. And I know if you absolutely know nothing about 3D modeling, this is completely just way over your head, and I completely understand that. And I understand that maybe the things that I'm saying makes no sense to you or means nothing to you, but if you've ever seen anyone use Blender and you're just curious about what it is, why people use it, it's used for, I mean, you name it. You can use it for anything. You can use it for video games. You can use it for movies, television shows, commercials. I mean, you name it. The sky's the limit. It's just, you're just limited by your own imagination, essentially, when it comes to Blender. So I personally enjoy using Blender for the modeling aspect of it. I enjoy this part of Blender. I like building things from scratch. I like creating cute little characters. But some people come on and they just want to like sculpt characters or just do texturing and materials. Some people just want to animate or do FX on different scenes within their movies or their projects or their short films. I've worked on a short film project in Blender. I've done perfume, 3D modeling for different perfumes. So it's truly just the sky's the limit when it comes to your creativity and what you can do here in Blender. So that is another reason why I'm so obsessed with it, because you can just do literally anything your mind can think of. So I'm just gonna add, I think I'll add the little cheeks, right? Like we'll just add, and I'm gonna join it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're just going to tab out of here, and I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna shift D, which is gonna duplicate it so it makes 2. And then I'm just gonna grab that on the X, and I'm gonna tab into edit mode, select the entire thing, and I'm just gonna like make it the size of the cheeks. And I'm just gonna put it where the cheeks would be. And why don't we grab the whole thing and let's put it in the front. how's that looking? I'm going to scale it down a bit. All right, I'm going to come out of edit mode. We're going to go back into object mode. I'm going to Shift D, make another duplicate. I'm just going to bring it over. And then we're just going to join all of this geometry together so that it is one piece of geometry, but we'll do that a little bit later on. Let's go ahead and see how far behind is the delay. Awesome, awesome. Okay, and let's see. And then we're going to, let's go ahead and work on the ears, shall we? So why don't we just Shift T, we'll just duplicate it, grab on the X, I'm going to tab out, select all, I'm going to scale it down, and I'm going to grab on the X, we're going to bring it upward, I'm going to scale that on the X as well, right? All right, and then let me scale this whole thing down a little bit more. And before I get to rotating, actually, I don't think I need to rotate a thing. I think we're just gonna grab this one vertex and I'm gonna just move it around. Yeah, that's good. Just like that. And then I'm gonna grab that just like that. Beautiful. So all right, that's great. That's great. Okay. So let's grab this and just move it just ever so slightly. And what I think I'm going to do, I have a Wacom drawing pad that's synced up to my computer. So I think we'll get into some sculpting as well with this particular project. My intention for today is to basically work on this until complete. And then what I'll do is once we're done with this project, we're going to switch over to Twitch later on in the evening, and we will do, we'll just play some Sims. I think that could be really fun. That'll be really fun for the day. And just see, you know, what we can get done. So I just essentially added a mirror modifier, and I just mirrored the little head there. And then I'm going to, we're going to take, let's see. We're going to take the ears and duplicate them. But for that, we'll take the mirror modifier off. I'm going to tab into edit mode. I'm going to select all, grab on the X. Let's go back into wireframe. I'm going to scale that down completely. And we actually want to be in this mode. So let me grab this. I'm going to just grab that little hair. Let me scale on the X because it's much skinnier than the ear. Let me grab and just move that so that it's in place. Adorable. Yeah, so we'll just do like that. And we'll add our own little razzle dazzle. We'll add our own little razzle dazzle when it's time. So let's grab on the X. One thing I like, I mean, if you're familiar with Blender at all, what I like to do as well, if you notice these little guys, right? These little dots, these are the origins for each geometry. So for instance, like this sphere, the head, the origin is located right here. So essentially, this is where you're going to control your rotation and how you're able to manipulate this sphere. I like to always pay attention to where the origins are, because if you'll notice, when I grab this one, the origin's way over here. So when I grab it, it's moving, but you see how far over the origin is. It's not aligned with the geometry. So let's just say we wanted to rotate. See, it's rotating around this origin here instead of rotating just on its own. So in order to fix that, we're just going to right click and I'm just going to put origin to geometry. And now if I rotate it, you'll notice a difference. So I always just like to pay attention to where my origins are to just avoid the headaches later on. So I'm just going to select everything and I'm going to do origin to geometry. That way each piece of geometry has its origin in the proper place. Just to not give yourself a pain, for it not to be a pain later on. All right, let's get back into it. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring, let me do this here. I'm going to grab this and bring this up. Make them a little more squishy. And then why don't we scale it out a bit. Okay. I'm going to select all. And we're just going to bring it down a bit. And why don't I scale this out a bit. I think we're going to have to add a loop cut because I want to manipulate this a little bit better. I do want her to be a bit of a chunky, so maybe we'll leave it, actually. I want her to be a bit of a chunk. I think it's really cute. All right, so I can scale on the X a little bit. Okay. So there we go. And then, let's see. All right, next thing's next. Let's go ahead and do the nose, right? Shift A. I'm going to add another cube. I feel that it's always the easiest to just start with a cube. Let's go ahead and scale that down. I'm going to grab it on the Y and kind of just pull it to the front a little bit more. Look at that. It went all the way over there. So let's grab on the Y and pull it back. We just want the nose on the face. All right, and then let's go ahead and X-ray. Let's grab on the Z. What I want to do is scale this down. I'm going to grab this. Grab on the Z this way, and then let's go ahead and add a subdivision modifier. We'll go 3 times with it. And what do we want to do? Let's tap into edit mode here. I'm going to add a loop cut right there. So if you notice what the loop cut did, let me undo so you can kind of see what the loop cut did. So when you add a loop cut, it essentially gives you more vertices, and by vertices I mean these little dots here, and it allows for more manipulation. So if you notice, if you pull the vertices, you can manipulate it. You can manipulate it. So we added a loop cut because we want to get this shape for the nose. So I'm going to grab this on the Z and pull that down. I'm going to take it down here and I'm going to squish this down. And then I'm going to grab it and squish it up. And if you notice, now I think I just want to pull this one over. Okay, just like that. So if you notice, oh no, absolutely not, unbelievable. Scale on the X. Let's just pull it out a little bit. Again, we can add our own little razzle dazzle. Let's scale on the Y. grab on the Y, and let's go ahead and put that on the little baby. There we go. Beautiful. So we got the little nosies, and let's go ahead and do the eyes. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna add a cube. Let's scale that. Oh, I also prefer to scale anything, change the size of it in edit mode versus Blender. Excuse me, I'm just drinking my detox tea. I like to scale in an edit mode because it doesn't tend to mess with the overall scale of the geometry. And I know if you have no idea what Blender is, that means nothing. But if you are someone that uses Blender, I do find that scaling in edit mode helps avoid any issues that you may have when applying modifiers and things like that to your geometry later on. Because if you are familiar, what can happen at times is the effects of a modifier can be affected because the computer is not, the program is not calculating the scale properly. So a lot of times if your modifiers are not working, you want to apply the scale, and I'll show you what that means in 1 second. So if you do ever find yourself like using a modifier and it's just like not doing what it's supposed to do, chances are you need to apply the scale. Did we add a subdivision yet? Not yet. Okay, great. So let's I'm gonna scale it on the Y. Let's do that. And let's add a subdivision. Let's do it 3. And I'm just gonna add 1 loop cut so that I have a little bit more control over the shape. I want to grab the top vertices, just pull them down a bit. And then I just want to scale this down. And maybe I just grab this just a little. And let's grab it and pull it out just a little. And then in the center, I want to scale it just a little. And let me grab you. Just give you a little curvature right there. Okay, let's tab out. Great. So you see it's kind of floating off, so we're gonna grab it and just pull it back. And then we're gonna rotate. See if you notice the origin is not set to the geometry, so it's gonna be a little weird. So I'm gonna go like this. There we go. It's a little bit better. Let's go back into X-ray mode. I think we can fix this even more. So we're gonna go back into edit mode. I'm gonna grab this. We're gonna go like that. Okay. How about like that? I think that's good. I like that. Okay. Now we're gonna add a mirror modifier. And we're gonna mirror it to the head like that, so that we have the 2 eyes. And what I mean by apply scale, if you press Control A, it'll ask you what do you want to apply, and that's where you would apply the scale if you have manipulated it in object mode at any point. If you just manipulate it in edit mode, you typically don't have to apply the scale, but it doesn't hurt to just apply it. It doesn't hurt. Okay, so every now and again, we'll check that out. All right, we're just about there. So then we're gonna add, let's do the strawberry, just like the basic shape of the strawberry and the basic shape of the feet. Let's add a cube. I'm gonna tab out. I'm gonna subdivide again. I'm gonna go 3 times. And let's scale that down. And you know what? You know what? Because let me tell you what. We're gonna get out of here. Hold on. Let's tab back out. Let's give me this. Let's get rid of it. We don't need that one. So here's what we did. This is from a previous, I practiced a little bit with this particular one. So I'm gonna unhide some of this stuff here. And let me see what we got. Because I was kind of working on, let's see. I'm gonna hide everything I don't want, so we'll hide that. All right, okay. So we're gonna I already have a pre-done shape for the strawberry, so I'm actually just gonna bring, what do we have here? These are the little teeth. Okay, so these 3 objects, I'm gonna pull them out of my hide and just put them with the collection, and we're gonna use that. And then we're gonna go back to hiding the other objects. So we have our little shape of the strawberry and the little teeth as well. So let's grab that and grab that. Grab on the Y. Just get those teeth in there real quick. Okay. I think that'll save us a little bit of time because that particular shape took me a little bit to get it dead right. So instead of painstakingly going through it again, let's just use what we got. Let's work a little bit smarter, not harder. You guys get the idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the feet. We're gonna add the feet. So let's scale that down. And look at me doing it in object mode, so we're gonna have to apply the scale. That's okay though. It's not like the worst thing in the world. Scale that down. Grab on the Z. And let's go ahead and subdivide her. And then I'm gonna pull the little toesies. I'm gonna pull them up. All right, let's pull that up there like that. I think that's cute. And we are gonna sculpt. So like I mentioned, we're just gonna focus on getting the basic shapes. We will take a tiny break and come back and focus on doing the details. So I'm gonna rotate it like that, like so, like that. I'm gonna tab out. I'm gonna apply the scale so I don't forget. And then I'm also gonna add a mirror modifier. For the body. Okay. And that's our little hamster shape. Let's see. Let's look at it from the front view. So the only thing, we have the strawberry. We're going to work on the stem part of it here. We'll work on the little hands after we complete the strawberry. We got the cheeks going, the nose, the eyes, little hair. We'll sculpt out the ears, and we'll go ahead and sculpt the feet as well. So we're going to take a little live stream time out, and we will be back at 2 p.m. to get this thing sculpted and looking really good. How about that? I think that feels really good. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to try to get this camera working too. So let's just take a little break. We'll be back at 2 o'clock right here streaming, and we'll finish up our hamster. Thank you so much for joining me. See you in a bit.